Hello, hello. It's Sunday here, just after 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm coming in here for our collective card pulls for another big week ahead. We are going to touch on some of those aspects. Just a short list that I have to share, but still small but mighty list, I should say, in some of the energies that are unfolding this week as we continue to now wind down Scorpio season and prepare to welcome in Sagittarius season. So happy birthday to all the Sagittarians out there. We're going to be tuning into that fire as we move into and through this week. But we're going to bring in some of our decks we've been working with this month. I'm sticking with the Magical Creatures Tarot this week for our spread. That's what we used last week. We really enjoyed it. The Northern Animal Tarot is currently marinating on my full moon in Taurus altar just off to the side here, because I will be diving in this week to all of the personal card pulls from that very powerful full moon in Taurus we have just had and are still sort of lingering in those energies as we prepare to tune into the new that's coming in this week on the other side of that cycle. And that means if you did still want to be a part of those Taurus energies and the card pulls, and you did not claim that new moon or full moon rather empowerment reading that I had available, you can still grab that if you would like to join us. And I will be doing your personal card pulls this week. So the video part 1 is ready to rock with all of the messages, and then I'll be coming in through Marco Polo to do the personal card pulls this week. If you're waiting on those and you have specific intentions or thoughts you want to share on the other side of the full moon, feel free to reach out. So with that, we roll into this week, and I'll highlight all the things as we shuffle and go, notably Pluto in Aquarius. You've heard me talking about this. It's happening this week, specifically the 19th, which is Tuesday. So I'm going to talk about that in the astrological weather for sure, and some other things I'll be sharing about that this week. Also sharing some videos from people who I really enjoy their perspectives and their takes on how we can connect in with these energies, and maybe just understanding and having more of a sense of, what the heck are we talking about when we say that these things are happening, right? Because I don't know, I always like to be like, don't assume everybody is like, oh yeah, Pluto and Aquarius, yeah. Like, well, what the heck does that mean for me, right? Bringing it down here, practical earth energy. How does this affect me? And so we'll talk about that too. All right, let's start getting into it. I'm going to actually bring in the dragon. I'm really enjoying, again, as we are winding down 2024, this beautiful energy of the wood dragon for connection and support throughout this year, 8-year, bringing in the manifestation, the abundance, but also feeling that energy of, again, coming down into earth. And in this case, the element of wood, that I think is something that is pinging for me right now. We'll see how that comes out through our cards this week. And then we're going to bring in the Unicorn Unity Spray again for Pluto and Aquarius 7th Dimension Connection Spray. And yes, probably more than once, you will hear me referring to the song Age of Aquarius. I have a couple different versions actually that I've created some reels and little bits about before. And so 7th Dimension energy now loading. So let's bring in Unicorn Unity to also bring in that energy for a special card pull we'll do for that with our Oracle of Awakening as well. Okay, let's start with our bonus cards. We had the 7 League Boots last week, so we're going to shuffle up for an ally this week to help set the tone as we move through these aspects and into Sagittarius season on the other end this Thursday coming in. So let's see. An ally, an archetype, some energy coming in here to get us started. Oh, that one wanted to come. Let's see. Ooh, the golden egg. I love this. This came up in some of the month ahead readings I did and personal energies for people as I was tuning in this month with the Empowerment Pack. And there was some fun things that came in through this. So we'll see what comes out for us collectively today on this one, the golden egg. Love it. And so now we're going to shuffle up our Magical Creatures Tarot with the Wood Dragon, the unicorns. I also want to bring in the energy of Merlin. So you can see here that infusing this altar all month have been these sprays that I intuitively selected as we kicked things off way back on November 1st. I don't know. I feel like this month, in the way that time has been flying, actually, this has been like the longest Scorpio season of my life. No. How are you feeling? Has it flown or is it crawling or somewhere in between? November. You know, it's like, oh, okay, full moon. That's a wrap. You know, okay, November's almost over. No, it's actually just halfway through. Meanwhile, I'm getting bombarded with, you know, posts and things online that say, oh, it's 40 days until Christmas, you know, exactly how many weekends. And it's like, you know, how they like to just stir it all up out there in the commercial land of the holidays and turning things over and keeping us moving. But I digress. Feeling into the energies of November, we brought in the unicorn energy, which includes the seventh dimension, the playtime and creativity from the rainbow unicorn and the healing unicorn to rest and receive. And then here in the earth energy corner, I had the wood dragon as well as Merlin's connection and mentorship as an ascended master, and the woodland brew for nature spirits portal connection. So that also feels very connected into, again, full circle, the unicorns, the dragons, and we have the ancestral healing here too. So again, that's bringing in some fire as well, I feel, feeling that energy of, all of it really through these deep layers and what has been excavated. And we'll talk about that when I touch on the astrological weather and Pluto. And you'll perhaps, you know, just with these cards I want to show you, see what we mean when we talk about Scorpio, when we talk about Pluto, and now we'll be saying about Aquarius, that there's this understanding of the ways in which that has been affecting us and how that's been coming up for us in the micro and the macro. My ears are ringing, so I know that there's some messages that want to come out here. Okay. Let's tune in. Monday, kicking off the week from the Magical Creatures. What's coming forward for us? Monday's energy. The Chariot. Woo! All right. I love it. What a gorgeous Chariot card at that. I love that with the home and the heart at the top. There's wings. There's so much here to unpack. Beautiful. So this is a major arcana card. So like I said, that denotes significant energy. Where to from here, right? And yet there is the home as the place of the heart right there in the center. So that's bringing in, again, energy of Cancer, which is family, home. And we're talking not just, as I was saying, ancestral healing and talking about our biological families or families of origin, but also soul family. And I'm feeling humanity as a family and so much more. So yeah, that's a big one. Now, that brings us to Tuesday, which is, the magician just winked at us. Lovely. Bringing in the energy of a potential blocker challenge this week and how we may be moving through that from that perspective. A potential blocker challenge this week. Can I go back to when I pulled the magician? No. It's the Tower, baby. All right. Major. No wonder my ears are ringing. The Tower. Yeah. Significant energy, right? That we're moving into and through here. So this is definitely bringing in that, as well. And, I'm trying to do the math in my head for the days of the week where we're at, but, that's Tuesday's energy. Now, Wednesday is going to be our midweek blessing. Look, there's the sun, guys. There's the sun. And the Five of Cups. Okay, so noted that another major arcana card winked at us, and it is one of, if not the most positive cards of the tarot. So that means, again, if you remember back in October, if you were with me on the Empowerment Sharecast, and we tapped into that Tower card that came forward as Frankenstein, and the energy that I tapped into with the Tower and the Power. And that was actually the week of the new moon in Scorpio. So interesting that that Tower comes back as a potential block or challenge. But like I said, that Sun card just winked at us. This is all unfolding for us, and there's gifts within all of it. So let's feel into, speaking of gifts, a midweek blessing for us here this week. Wednesday's midweek blessing. King of Swords, okay. I have to feel like it's ready to come out when I flip. Sometimes I keep them, sometimes I don't. But I just make a note of the different energies that are in the mix here that are stirring up. Wednesday, one card, please. Wednesday's midweek blessing for our collective energy. The Devil. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, 3 major arcana cards so far. And the golden egg. So again, wow. Okay, that's also significant. All right, guys, settle in, all right? Because I'm going to be unpacking these energies tonight, Sunday, as I record this. But of course, you are always invited to take this in whatever way works for you. I know a lot of people like to come in day by day, listen to the Monday on the Monday, Tuesday on the Tuesday. And yes, I have been trying to do those quick little story shares that I do with the Audible Mystics, which is the voiceover that kind of gives us the quick and the dirty on the card. And I love how spot on it is every time. You know, like I just get that audio and plug that in with the card that came forward for us in the context of the intention we set when we pull the card, and it's always got something in there for us. Okay, Thursday, how we are growing, and and I didn't say, Tuesday, Pluto in Aquarius, Thursday, Sagittarius season. So let's see, is it going to be another major? What's coming forward for us on Thursday for how we are growing? Chariot, Tower, Devil. Thursday, how are we growing? How are we growing? It is, wow. Okay, I know just a couple of months we had like a never before happened where I don't know if it was the entire week was major or close to it. I know some people can tell me. But I think we're on a streak here, guys. 4 out of the 5 days of the week bringing forward major arcana energy. Major arcana, again, this is the hanged one, the hanged man, represents the big secrets, right? The significant things, the big stops along the way on our fool's journeys that we are all on as a humanity. And so, yeah, this is a big week. This is significant energy that we're moving through right now. Friday's wrapping it all up just for this week, but this is an ongoing conversation, right? This is a story that we are collectively writing. Friday, wrapping it up. What's peeking at us? The Empress. She came up last week. I'm putting her back. She came up last week, and that was beautiful. She was actually, was she the midweek blessing? It was beautiful. The energies that came in there. So, by the way, that was another major arcana card, you guys. So, yeah. Oh, all right. Now, last week I said these boots are made for walking. I guess these hands are meant for pulling out significant energies from our collective. Okay, Friday. What are these hands going to pull out now? Friday's energy to wrap it all up this week. And then we'll pull our Oracle of Awakening. Ready? This is amazing. This is a major sweep. This is a sweep of major arcana cards, significant energy. Wow, wow, wow. See, my ears were ringing. I knew it. I could feel this energy. Okay. Let's spray. I sprayed the unicorn unity energy. That's the Death card, by the way. Also came up last week, right? Beautiful, beautiful cards. Okay, the Oracle of Awakening is bringing through a message, and my intention was within the energies of Pluto moving into Aquarius and Sagittarius season kicking off, we pull a card. So let me spray. I will spray Merlin, and I'm going to spray, let's spray the connection and mentorship Ascended Master energy. Because I feel the nature spirits portal is already here in our enchanted forest that we have with these magical creatures. So bringing through Ascended Master energy through Merlin, we ask for a card now from the Oracle of Awakening. It's beautiful energies coming forward for us. All who are here and will be seeing these messages in whatever time, divine timing always. These messages are for you when you receive them. And of course, as always, you take what resonates, leave the rest. That's how it works with a collective reading. If you would like a personal card pull this week, you are welcome to request one. I offer those as a part of my loving service. So you can reply here on Polo. You can send me a message in whatever way works for you. As we break down these cards, if any of them are speaking to you more so, or something significant coming up for you that you want to have as the intention when we pull your personal card, just let me know. Okay. This final card from the Oracle of Awakening. Message for our collective here. One card. Merlin. Wow. Center point. Grounded, centered, sovereign. Wow. I don't know if you can see what's happening in this card, but I see it as almost like a volcano has erupted, and you see all of this big, huge plume of smoke that's going on in the backdrop. You know, like, have you ever seen that picture of, like, you know, it could be, there's one specific, like, meme I've seen with this little girl, and she's just, like, straight faced looking at the camera, but behind her, the house is, like, on fire. But there's this sense of, like, yeah, cool, you know, I'm over here, grounded, centered, sovereign, everything's blowing up. You know, there's this sense of this plume of this eruption. You know, there's this very potent energy, powerful energy that's happening, Pluto and Aquarius. But I'm over here wrapped in my snake, holding it down. So I can't wait to see what this card has to say. I have no doubt that it's going to be a beautiful extension of these messages that are just waiting to come through. So let's get into it. I'm going to start here with some energetic weather, and then we'll unfold into our cards from there. But thank you all so much for being here. And I can't wait to connect with you throughout the week to see how it is all unfolding. Let's check it out. All right, let's take a look at our week ahead altar space as we dip into some of the energetic weather this week. With the first aspect I want to mention happening here today, November 17th, as I'm recording this on Sunday, we have the Sun opposite Uranus. This is bringing me into the way we closed out last week, if you recall, was with the Ace of Swords. We had that beautiful baby unicorn just getting its footing, just figuring some things out, but there's this fresh air, new energy that was coming in with a quickness. And we had the full moon in Taurus with a lot of Uranus involvement, right? Well, today we have more Uranus energy, and I'm tapping into that card from Friday as I bring in some of these energies here, that these Uranus energies can scatter the airways, right? Change is in the air under this alignment, the Sun opposite Uranus. And so we may find ourselves shifting our position or course of direction. We may suddenly feel differently about a situation or have an aha moment that was unexpected. These are all things I talked about leading up to the full moon and all of those expect the unexpected, the opportunity for, some of that shifty energy. Here we are, how are you feeling? How have you been moving through these full moon energies? And in what way may you be connecting in with this aha moment, this clicking, this light bulb, this, clarity that can come in with the full supermoon illumination? Now, with this full moon just fading out from the waves of energy and then the sun opposite Uranus, we may also feel energetically wiped and in need of some rest. So coming back to some grounding practices will help create balance. And in fact, I'm going to bring in the unicorn energy, the healing unicorn, to rest and receive. Because no matter how you're experiencing it, an energizing bolt of like, wow, I can see clearly now. I have this clarity. I have this motivation, this sudden burst, or I'm exhausted, I'm wiped, I'm, drained. It's the best I can do to just kind of, do the basics. Wherever you are between there, bringing in those beautiful healing vibrations from the healing unicorns to rest and receive and allow yourself to process all of it. Okay, let's bring up a slide now for the Pluto entering Aquarius messages I have to share. I have two photos I want to share with you as I bring through this information. So let's take a look. All right, November 19th, 20th, depending on where you are in the world, Pluto enters Aquarius, all about transformation and collective evolution. This is an incredibly powerful day. Tuesday, Tower energy coming in, right, from our collective card pulls. Pluto has finally finished its stint in Capricorn for our lifetime. Never again, for multiple lifetimes, will Pluto and Capricorn come together. And now here, since 2008, Pluto has been touring through the sign of the sea goat, but will now be officially settled into Aquarius. This is a huge point of graduation for all of us. Pluto works on themes relating to death and rebirth. And since 2008, we have all been leveling up in some way. So now an opportunity to reflect on whether you notice any shifts or themes that began for you in 2008. I know many of you, that is the case. I've talked to you. We've been working together. We've been dipping in and out of these energies. And it's just crazy when we trace back what was happening in my life at that time and since then, to really begin to piece together all those spiritual breadcrumbs. So working back, you might see that cycle that has unfolded and perhaps just how you have transformed since this time. So again, it couldn't be more perfect. Yes, the Tower comes up as a potential block or challenge, but you see here about the urging to embrace radical change, to challenge outdated systems, right? Those old towers can fall hard and they can give some resistance, right? So there's so much to bring through with that card, but just tapping into the vibration of that day so you can feel into just how perfectly, quote unquote, aligned pulling the Tower is on a day that represents the blocks and challenges while we have this very significant aspect happening here. So I'm going to pull up now for you two cards from my Star Codes Astro Oracle deck that I have here. I like to pull this one out to kind of just give some background. I'm just taking some extra time here to dip into Pluto and Aquarius for some context. I think that's important to do before I get into this week's messages so that we can all just kind of have that baseline. So let me go ahead and pull that up now and we'll take a look. So first we're going to talk about here between Pluto and Aquarius, the energy of Pluto. which, as I see here on this card, is number 27, which of course holds a 9 vibration energy, which is of course a number we've been talking about a lot, especially this month as I've brought in sort of this preview into 2025, a year 9 vibration, all about culminations, all about the perseverance, because we are absolutely moving into a new age. So the ending of one thing and the beginning of something new, the planet of death and rebirth comes in, Pluto. So I'm going to share with you some of the guidance here from the star codes. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and it's a powerful planetoid that takes 248 years to traverse the zodiac. Pluto and Charon, the largest of its 5 moons, circle each other and create a binary system. Most myths connected to Pluto, god of the underworld, have 2 major characteristics. The one who descends into the underworld to return reborn, and the one who either sends souls down to the underworld or greets them on arrival. From Pluto and Proserpina to Seth and Osiris, and Inanna and Ereshkigal, I might be butchering some names here, guys. Both sides of these myths, the use and abuse of power and the willingness to be reborn again into their empowered divine self, describe Pluto's influence. Pluto was also the lord of mining, retrieving valuables from deep within the earth. Okay, so the action that comes in with this oracle card for Pluto calls for 3 actions. First, to dig deep. Second, to be willing to transform. And third, to use power wisely. Pluto calls you to drill down, dig up what is worthy, and bring it to the surface. Then rinse away the dirt and uncover the gold. Bring up riches whenever you dig deep into your soul's work. This is what I love. Like, it doesn't matter what decks we've been tuning into, what energies we've been talking about. Scorpio season has been all about this layer up, right? Peeling back the layers, drudging up the muck, polishing the rough diamonds, all of it. You hear, you see how you didn't even have to know what zodiac sign, the sun was in, or what we're talking about, what planet rules that zodiac sign, to go, oh yeah, that's actually exactly what's been happening. We've been getting pushed to dig deep. We've been getting pushed beyond the surface. We've been feeling the need to really clear out and cleanse and wash away the muck and see what we're left with, the most authentic center. All of it. So it just never gets old. Sorry, I'm geeking out a little bit. So it says to notice the obsessions and neuroses. These signs of stress must be listened to and healed, but don't allow them to control you. Pluto reminds you that you can't hold on to the past, but you can take care of yourself. To begin this work, you may have to let go of an old form, as a caterpillar must become a butterfly. Mourn what you've left behind, then get curious about what is about to arrive. Examine the power dynamics of this situation. Neither give yours away nor misuse your power over others. Step out of a power struggle and into self-empowerment. Now, the challenge of Pluto says Pluto's shadow side can bring up obsession, depression, mortality, and grief. Pluto plays hardball, so get a guide for this realm if needed. Yeah, so we're in this together, guys. We're down in the trenches. We're in the mines. We're drudging it up. We're peeling it back. We're each doing our work, right? And that's rippling out to the collective. And we have this beautiful opportunity to create something new, the rebirth. So now the spiritual gift of Pluto, it asks you, in the face of life and death, why are you here? This isn't a rhetorical question. Strip down to the essentials and come back to what really matters to find the answer. See, this is what we talk about. And, again, we have the Tower and the Death card on the altar right now. Picked clean to the bone, stripped down to the bones, right? The Tower falls, right? And what's left standing? What are we rebuilding from? What do we bring with us? What do we leave behind? Right in between these powerful cards are two other very significant energies, the Devil and the Hanged One. So again, we're going to be getting into all of this, but I'm just like looking at those cards over there on the altar and I just can't believe it. It's crazy. All right, let's talk about Aquarius real quick. And then we will finish off with Sagittarius season from our weather this week. Okay, Aquarius. Now that's bringing in another highly spiritual number of 11 as the number on this card, as the number of this month, as the frequency of the power numbers that we've been ushering in this week. And it's so interesting because if I wanted to sit here and really geek out, we would look at the fact that things are happening this week. We have 11/22 on the calendar, which is another multiple of 11, etc., etc. Okay, Aquarius, collaborate. The symbol for Aquarius is not water, but the water bearer, the person fetching, carrying, and pouring the water, who provides a great service to the community. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology, co-ruled by Uranus in modern astrology, and is connected to the ankles, which we use to turn from one person to another in conversation. The sun shines through Aquarius January 21st through February 20th. So the action of Aquarius says, live by your philosophy. Aquarius's traditional ruler Saturn asks us to know what society expects of us and to care about our reputation. However, Aquarius's co-ruler Uranus encourages us to free ourselves from tradition or others' opinions and be able to think outside the box. Yes, this can feel like a paradox, but it offers a healthy tension to manifest the true you. Know the pattern and riff on it with your own invention. To get to this free place, investigate your philosophy, which is your operating manual, to make sure it's alive and authentic. When you feel that your worldview and your actions are integrated, it is easier to call in healthy collaborators. So this is beautiful because it's just kind of bringing us into dipping into this energy of the water bearer, feeling into that healthy tension that exists between the Saturn and the Uranus rulership. And yes, in addition to that full moon in Taurus on Friday, Saturn stationed direct. So that was another aspect that we talked about last week as the master teacher, our karmic lord, bringing forward the tough lessons and the graduation from that, and the gift that is left behind. And so here we now move into this energy of getting really clear within ourselves, right? And then we can collaborate. And this is where it says, cultivate allies, find others called by the same causes and work together, weave people together to create community. This web will bring in new friendships, purpose, and connections, which may lead to romantic sparks. Throughout the process, consciously maintain a balance between your own needs and those of the collective. So the challenge of Aquarius, spiritual practice and personal philosophy can be used to bypass authentic emotions. So be honest with yourself and don't try to talk yourself into feelings you think you should have or onto a path that others find more socially acceptable. If your philosophy clashes with your honest feelings, then your philosophy needs to evolve. If your lifestyle is not in line with your philosophy, then one or both need to change. Yeah, so this is all energies we'll definitely be diving more deeply into and unpacking as we move into. This is the early stages of Pluto and Aquarius. So this is just kind of giving us that flavor. So now the gift of Aquarius, the authentic Aquarius gift encourages you to let go of previous constructs and listen to the source within. honor the reality that you are a unique individual, but you also have a responsibility to contribute to the health of your community. Beautiful. Okay, one more aspect for us to touch on, and then we're rolling into these cards. Here we go, Sagittarius season, copping in here this week between the 21st, 22nd November, Sagittarius season, bringing in adventure and expansion, coming into focus with that Archer, urging you to seek new experiences, broaden your horizons, and embrace personal growth. So as Scorpio season comes to an end and we move into fiery Sagittarius season here, the energy lifts and shifts, helping us to feel more social and adventurous. And Sagittarius being represented by the arrow of the Archer. So under the Sagittarius sun, we're encouraged to aim towards our target. What do we wish to manifest? So this year may be coming to a close here, but the Sagittarius sun reminds us that there's no better time to act than the present. So this is a beautiful energy that's turning up the heat, again, to explore, for adventure, for travel. Embrace your free spirit. It's time to grow, learn, and pursue your highest vision with great optimism. Awesome. All right, let's roll in now to our cards, starting with our ally for this week, the golden egg. Okay, our magical creature's ally that came forward for our week is the golden egg. And I'm going to bring my shameless movie reference right out front because, like I said, this card did come up in at least one personal reading I did this month. And I immediately tapped into the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Veruca Salt with the geeses, right? I hear the song in my head. The when they get in the chocolate factory to the place where the geese are laying the golden eggs, and she wants one, and it's all about, I want it now, Daddy. I want a golden goose, and this energy of all the things that everybody wants that golden egg, right? So there's that shadow aspect, but what this energy is tuning into here is abundance and hidden potential. So it speaks to being perched upon a bed of soft feathers. Here is the fabled golden egg, a symbol of abundance and miraculous blessings. The card speaks of unexpected treasures and the magical rewards that come from acts of kindness and generosity. The golden egg invites the seeker to embrace the spirit of generosity and kindness, knowing that their actions have the power to attract abundance and blessings into their life. It encourages them to trust in the inherent goodness of the universe and to open their heart to the infinite possibilities that await. So this is an incredibly positive card of abundance and possibility that's coming in ahead of a very significant week. And I love how it rolls right into that beautiful version of the Chariot where, again, yes, there's this home, there's this heart at the top. And so I am feeling this feathering our nests, right? This energy of where should we focus our energy in the face of such powerful, shifting, moving times? And we come back to the home within ourselves, right? And this can literally mean the place that you call home, where you are anchored right now, right? And putting your focus into feathering that nest and creating in your environment something that properly reflects back to you your values, your desires, your intentions, what you wish to manifest in your life. You're preparing a place. And yes, physical, so we're still talking about clearing out things, clutter, old energy, density that may exist in our surroundings that we may not even realize the extent that it does affect us. This is something I've been focusing on for sure, like getting some fall cleanup going on here in preparation for holidays, for entertaining, for bringing in more stuff. And it's really funny because my littlest one is 8. And so, yes, she's already made her wish list for Christmas by request. The grandparents and others are asking, oh, so what are you wishing for this year? and we're sort of, teetering on the brink of belief, in different aspects there. And one of the things that she wished for is literally a goose that lays eggs, and you may or may not get the rare golden egg in your mix, okay? And you never know. So, as I'm consulting Santa's workshop and preparing to make the purchases or gather the things that will be wrapped and placed under the tree, or, in whatever way the wish list is coming to life through magic, that is one of those toys. And it's one of those things that I think, isn't that cute and packaged, and doesn't it check a box as something that she wants? But how many of those toys lay in the graveyard of the playroom, of things that brought us that temporary joy or the excitement for the possibility that that rare golden egg could be in there. But it's rare, so it might not be yours. We never know if we're going to get that one or not. And then there could be disappointment when we don't have the golden egg, or we're just kind of, unimpressed and unenthused by the regular old eggs we got in our batch, So it's just so funny because it's, once again, tarot imitating life, the energies that are around that I tap into to say, isn't this funny? That we can glean some awarenesses and wisdom through these everyday life experiences, and what comes up on the cards, as we're encouraged here to feather our nests, to focus on gratitude and also giving. So the more that we can focus on giving of our gifts that we have to share, the things that we can express out into the world, that we have to pay forward, that we have to share with others, we know that prepares a place to welcome in that same vibration into our lives. So that's sort of setting the tone that as we step into this week of this awareness of, connecting into that abundance and the hidden potential that we can access most directly through gratitude and giving, and then preparing ourselves also to receive abundantly as well. All right, we are kicking things off with Monday's card, this beautiful Chariot, which, as I'm dipping in here, I looked at this right away and saw this home at the center and the heart, and I was connecting in with the Cancer energy of this card. As I'm looking here at the Magical Creatures guidebook, this is a caravan. So, of course, it's on the move. Of course, it can be mobilized, because that is what the Chariot is. There's movement. So I think that's really beautifully symbolic. Okay, because we're talking about the home, and I've talked about this in previous weeks when we talked about that, returning to the home within our hearts. The power was with you all along. This was even, again, going back to October, we had all of our trick or treat tarot themes coming in, and a few of them had featured aspects of the Wizard of Oz, and so that brought us down the Yellow Brick Road and the Emerald City, and, it was with you all along, right? That you're at home within your own heart. And so being in that place of the heart, finding that wherever we may be, whether we are rooted in a stationary, very fixed place, or we are on the move and we create home as we go. So I think that's a really interesting thing, that I initially saw it as a house, but now that I look, it is hovering above the ground. It's a caravan. So let's tap into this energy here for Cancer, energy of the Chariot and the home and the family and the heart and all the things. Okay, perseverance and grace. The Chariot manifests as a whimsical traveling caravan in hues of blue and hand-painted stars and moons that gleam in the sunlight. Emerging from the whispering pine trees is the rider, seated calmly at the forefront of the caravan, their gaze fixed forward with unwavering determination. Cloaked in a luminous purple starry cloak, the rider exudes an aura of cosmic wisdom and guidance. A star-gazing telescope is nestled beside them, symbolizing the affinity for exploration and discovery. Pulling the caravan on this extraordinary voyage are a pair of unruly mountain trolls, their wild and untamed spirits adding an element of unpredictability to the journey. Though challenging to harness, these magical creatures promise exhilarating adventures and unexpected twists along the way. Despite the chaos of the trolls, the rider remains steadfast, steering the caravan towards its destination with confidence and grace. Together, they embark on a fantastical ride through the realms of possibility and the imagination. The chariot represents triumph over obstacles and the drive to achieve victory through stability. As the caravan sets forth on its journey, it is a reminder that with concentration and flexibility, any obstacle can be overcome and any adventure can be a delight. Well, you know what I love about that? I feel like that summarizes our two, main aspects this week. Tuesday, we get into Pluto and Aquarius, and then we talked about Thursday, Sagittarius season. So we've got the Tower coming in with that aspect of, obstacles, blocks, and challenges that can be overcome. And then we have the energy of Sagittarius coming in saying any adventure will be a delight. So it's about coming back to yourself, right? And being at home within yourself in this very balanced, neutral way that no matter how the trolls are acting on the outside, right? And traditionally, these two symbolize usually a white and black sphinx or horse or some aspect of yin and yang, masculine, feminine, these two opposing aspects that are brought into balance and harmony in order to roll forward, in order to move on and go on this journey, this trip that one is embarking on from this very balanced place and in the position of the driver's seat. So I love that this card came forward as our first card for the week to set the tone that we are on the move. We are rolling in. And yes, it is calling for perseverance. I just said that the energy of 9, that's one of the aspects, is perseverance. And so, here come the key words with the chariot: perseverance and grace, allowing for flow, allowing for healing, just bringing it into that heart space and moving from there. So that's sort of the tone that we want to set. Remember, no matter what the mountain trolls are doing, as we go through this week, as we look at some of these shadowier cards, the cards that have a lot that we can really learn and really delve into the shadow when we feel into those cards as archetypes, that again, as for me, I'll be in my caravan centered around this beautiful heart, regardless of what the mountain trolls are doing. I'm in the driver's seat, right? And I'm feathering my nest and creating this soft landing space to perpetuate the vibration of giving through gratitude, through abundance, through attracting in more of the same into my life. Mountain trolls, be damned. That's what I'm feeling there. All right. So let's get into it now. And you'll see this card close up tomorrow as I'm recording this, because I took a picture of it and I will be sharing that little 1 minute, little story blurb with a nice close up look at the chariot, because it is quite the beautiful card. Let's roll into, ready or not, Tuesday's Tower card. We got this. Let's take a look. All right, Tuesday, the potential blocker challenge this week brings forward the Tower. So let's take a look at the energies that are presenting themselves here on quite a powerful and auspicious day when Pluto moves into Aquarius. So the Tower, and the key words with this card say, the collapse of power. In the card of the Tower, a flash of lightning illuminates the dark and stormy sky, casting an eerie glow over the scene below. A towering castle, once a symbol of strength and authority, is now being torn asunder from its very foundation. Rocks and debris fly through the air, crashing down into the moat that surrounds the crumbling fortress. At the heart of the chaos stands a gigantic giant wielding a club adorned with menacing spikes. With a malevolent smile, he revels in the destruction he unleashes upon the world. His joyous rampage knows no bounds as he obliterates everything in his path. This giant is not motivated by need or desperation. His back bears the weight of a hog and a cow, spoils of earlier plunder, while his purse overflows with stolen gold. Destruction is his only goal, and he takes pleasure in the chaos that he creates. The Tower card signifies the sudden and dramatic upheaval of established structures and systems. It serves as a stark reminder of the impermanence of power and the inevitable collapse of arrogance and hubris. In the face of such destruction, there is little one can do but seek shelter and weather the storm. So that is pulling no punches in setting the frame of what the Tower represents. And so it's actually, I just have goosebumps all over my arms, just like feeling this energy, because it is very powerful and it's highly transformative. But this is not coming from a place of fear. Remember, we're getting grounded and anchoring in. And I know that this card is going to bring through some real beautiful guidance. And I think I'll actually bring it in here just on the other side of this card, because I feel that's something that's very needed in the face of all of this destruction, right? Things that have to come down. And so it's so beautiful because we could just go on a whole, Pluto and Aquarius and the age of Pisces, which is what came before the age of Aquarius that we are in now. And the idea that Pisces, for some 2,000 plus years, was the energy that was streaming onto the planet that built all of our systems and constructs as we now know them. And we're talking religion, government, financial systems, the framework of the Tower that we all live in now in our current way of being, in our current society, in the current systems, in the current paradigms. They're all built on those old energies that have ended, right? So the age of Pisces is over. The Piscean age has ended. The age of Aquarius is here. I don't want you to get too tripped up, depending on how in the know you are about the way that these astrological ages work, and how there's sort of like, I see it as like rings within rings within rings of cycles that we move through that create an age, which, like I said, we're talking like a 2,160 year period. And then we're talking about, the annual cycles we move through. We're talking about these monthly cycles we move through. So there's so many moving parts here. And that's not important to the messages that we're feeling into here, but I just kind of want to give it a little context. And by the way, if it is something that you're interested in knowing more about, I'm fascinated with it. I'm learning so much myself. So if you ever want any suggestions of videos, books, resources that you can tune into, feel free to let me know about that. But as it's pertaining to our week, anytime we move through a substantial period of change, of transformation, of something ending and something new beginning, there is destruction before there is construction, right? So we bring down the old, we clear out. Like if we were going to build something new, right now I'm feeling like an old shed, you may come upon on your property or something where you want to build a new structure. And I'm thinking of a shed or a storage, building on a property where maybe there was an old shed there, and the shed, maybe it has good bones, but the wood is rotten. There could be termites, there could be critters living in there. It could be broken. The hinges could be rusted. All the things about this old structure that's no longer viable. And so it has to come down in order for us to build the new shed, the new storage, the new place where we're going to create from. And so, it doesn't mean that you take down every single piece. Like I said, if the foundation is strong, if the framework is still viable, then we build from there. So anytime we have to sort of, again, pick apart and look at what must come down, what yet needs to be done in order to restore it, or to, in this case, we want to improve upon it. We want to surpass, the previous structure, right? We want to build something. We're evolving. This is evolution. We're creating something new, bigger, better, stronger, whatever, however it presents itself. So that's where, yeah, that can be tricky because change is tricky. Change can be uncomfortable. Change can happen suddenly, unexpectedly. Again, even if it's a wonderful surprise and we didn't see that coming, there is still a ripple of, emotions that we may go through of needing to get our bearings, of needing to sort of adjust and see that, okay, the plan that I thought was in motion is changed. And now there's no looking back. It's rolling on full steam ahead in the chariot to this new thing. And maybe this new thing is actually really exciting already. I'm already excited about it. I'm happy about it, but I still have to wrap up or deal with whatever I'm leaving behind or pivoting from or changing, and there could be bittersweetness there. Or maybe it's something that I don't realize it yet, but it is going to be something that's better than I can even imagine. And so anyway, the Tower coming in this week, definitely creates a sense of disruption. It can create a sense of, sometimes where to from here, the unexpected, we're not sure. But let's take a look and see what this beautiful Oracle of Awakening card has to bring in for us to find our center point in the midst of the chaos. Okay, here is that special Oracle of Awakening card pull we did with the intention of the very strong and powerful energies this week, the major cards that have come forward. We wanted a message of hope and understanding and, best guidance as we go forward. And we got this striking card, Center Point, that says, you are the anchor of your own peace. It says your spiritual center is a numinous place within yourself where you have ever-present access to mental, physical, and emotional peace, even if only for a short period of time. The ability to return to your center point is an invaluable skill that will serve every aspect of your life. Centering and grounding are often used interchangeably. I generally think of grounding as being in connection with the earth, while center point specifically feels like being within my own body. The location of the center point may differ from person to person. For some, it may be in the heart center. For others, it may be located in the lower Dantian area, specifically near the sacral or solar plexus or elsewhere. Being centered is often referred to as a state of emotional and spiritual equilibrium. It allows you to be accepting of the positive and negative experiences that happen in life. But that is not the only benefit. Being centered brings clarity, helping you make more effective decisions. You are more likely to manifest a desired outcome from your center point. When this card comes into your life, it is an invitation to return to your center point to access balance, peace, and clarity. There are many methods to access this inner space. Meditation and breath work are the most obvious, but also walking, running, yoga, and chanting are other examples. The most important thing is to align to your peace, to your inner knowing, to your empowered self. And the affirmation with this card says, I am balanced and centered. I have instant access to my inner knowing and natural wisdom in any situation. Again, it's definitely so powerful that whether it's a volcano erupting in the background, this plume of smoke, she is centered. She is grounded and sovereign, right? Within herself, in her center point. So feet touching the earth, getting grounded, connecting in with the earth through any practice that speaks to you. And then coming to your own still point, center point within yourself amidst all of the change and transformation. She's wearing that snake like a shawl. We've been talking about the symbolism of shedding those skins of the soul, but also not carrying them around with us, right? This is all stuff that came up throughout October in Scorpio season that is now winding down, this grand finale here that we sort of assess. And I had shared, these are all, again, I hope this is familiar to you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're curious, it's all on the October Empowerment Sharecast, but just reach out, let me know, and I'll fill you in on the specifics. But these were all, like October into November, pop-ons I did, extra cards I pulled, videos I created over that are on YouTube or that I shared here on Marco Polo of these metaphors that came in. I think that was a metaphor from Metatron, which was the snake skin in the bottle. And, what if we just kept all of these old versions of ourselves that we shed and we just kept them in a little bottle that we carried, or we wore them around our neck, right? There was this whole thing about really getting clear on what's coming with us, what we're shedding, releasing, and transmuting, right? So there's this energy of it changing form. We don't have to carry it in this very dense way, right? So there's so much there. But again, I feel that purple too. And these are like my favorite colors, these two colors together. And it's something that I was sharing, even when I think, twice it's come up now. The Tanzanite third eye chakra energy has come up. Speaking of the third eye chakra, of our intuition, of that center point, which is actually the way in which the Aquarian energy is coming in. So there is this opening that's happening to our own inner knowing, intuition, and getting really grounded in that center point. And I thought that was interesting how, when it was giving the different places you may associate your center point, and it spoke of the heart, it spoke of the lower chakras. It did not mention any of the upper chakras, right? But right in between our eyes, in the center there, that third eye energy center, being our connection to source and our intuition and inner knowing. And so I'm just being brought in there here now. I'm actually going to spray the Tanzanite, and also, I'm putting it out on the altar, so you'll see when I come back on here how matchy happens, because it's happening. It is so matchy. I'm here for it. All right, so this is a beautiful card that really is bringing us some guidance to connect in with our inner knowing, trusting ourselves, finding that center point within, getting grounded, and really wrapping ourselves in the change and the rebirth energy that's coming in, so that we can actively take part in the shedding, the releasing, the letting go, and then also the grounding and the integrating of what we are taking from on the other side of all of this powerful change and disruption, and in between, in transition energies of what we are building in the new. So let's take a look now at our midweek blessing. All right. Oh, we're halfway there. It's the midweek blessing coming in here with another major. That's right. If you're just tuning in, if you didn't see the card pulls that I did for this week's cards, or you didn't hear it before, every single card that came forward is major arcana. So, significant energy on our Fool's Journeys this week. Also, as I was just sharing, our beautiful center point, again, wanted to show you the matchy that I was infusing onto the altar space as you were looking upon the photo of this gorgeous card that did bring us into that center point, but also that center point on the crown, the third eye, our intuition, our inner knowing, right? Bringing in this beautiful energy of the Tanzanite third eye chakra. So that is that. And now we bring in this midweek blessing as the devil, right? The devil energy is coming in as card 15, our midweek blessing here on Wednesday. So let's feel into the Magical Creatures Tarot and the interpretation as it presents itself here as the devil, the keeper of temptation. In the card of the devil, we find ourselves in the midst of midnight or witching hour, where darkness and mystery reign supreme. The devil sits upon a throne, woven from thick black-thorned vines, their tendrils entwining everything in their path, making escape difficult and painful. Leaning forward from his throne, the devil wears a lazy, passive smile that dances with mischief and mockery. His copper-colored beard and soft curls cascade around his shoulders, blending seamlessly into fur that covers his abdomen and leads down to his goat-hoofed feet. Great wings spread above his head, casting a shadow of darkness, while his lion-style tail winds around his feet, a symbol of his power and dominion. Before the devil stand two goblins, each with 1 foot in chains, holding out bowls towards the viewer. One bowl overflows with gold and riches, tempting with material wealth, while the other brims with wine and sweet grapes, enticing with indulgence and pleasure. These goblins serve their master eagerly, their loyalty bound by chains of temptation. Above the dark pine tree forest, a lazy thin slice of moon hangs in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the scene, illuminating the depths of temptation and desire that lurk within the shadows. The Devil card serves as a reminder of the allure of worldly pleasures and the seductive power of materialism. It challenges us to confront our own desires and urges, urging us to break free from the chains of temptation and reclaim our power over our own lives. So, as I'm reading that, I'm, connecting all of the breadcrumbs, all of the energies that are coming forward here, because of course the devil is the card that represents Capricorn energy. And so as we have just noted through the tower energy of Pluto in Aquarius, it has now finally parted ways with Capricorn for our lifetime and the next 3 lifetimes in their coming together again. So this energy of the devil, the energy of what that may represent in terms of, again, the tower spoke of the collapse of power. Now the devil comes in to speak to the keeper of temptation. Now, interestingly, between those energies, we have, 15 is the devil, 16 is the tower. The card that comes on the other side that did not come out here in our spread is the star, the card of Aquarius in the major arcana. The star represents hope and healing and really connecting in with the essence of the wish that we have or what we desire to bring into physical manifestation from the ethers, from the cosmos, from this energy of, the stuff of stars and bringing it down to earth. And so this is what is unfolding, this story that we see that, yes, there is the energy of that which is falling, that which has crumbled, that which is no longer serving, that which has been this tempting and alluring, materialistic stuff of addictions and temptation and comfort zone and so much more, holding us captive in a way that, again, like if you look at the goblins here, they don't look relatively unhappy either. Like they're there fulfilling their role, but it's out of whether we see it as keeping, a survival or, keeping the devil happy or feeding the beast, whatever we want to think of this energy. They could actually, just 1 foot here is tethered, but the devil tends to carry a message that we're in a prison of our own making, that it's something that we could actually really free ourselves from at any time. And so the trappings of the materialism of the gold coins representing the grapes, the wine, it as a way of keeping things playing small, of keeping things playing obedient and submissive and just going along with whatever because it's familiar, it's known, it's the devil we know, right? So the midweek blessing, let's bring that into the energy of the devil, really does present for us, much like it's its opposite card, which is the Lovers, the energy of choice, duality, and bringing heaven to earth. So this having just been the energies that we have been operating under, this Capricornian influence that has now, as of Wednesday, our midweek blessing, has now receded back into the shadows, back into, they have separated, and now Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, connecting in the energies of Aquarius, as we've been discussing. This energy of freeing ourselves of prisons of our own making, the ways in which we have created perhaps very tempting, comfortable, cozy little identities, cozy little, I'm getting digs, like, when we go back to that Chariot energy of like wherever we call home, wherever we set ourselves down and we sort of hunker into a very fixed way of being, that actually we're being kind of made uncomfortable because it's time to move, whether that be actual physical movement, or, energy starting to move in a way that shows us what's possible on the other side of temptation, when we don't continue to repeat the same story over and over and over again that has played out over generations, and now a new story is being written. And so, it's so significant that we find ourselves here in this place and time, not by mistake, but yes, by choice, at soul level on your fool's journey, choosing to be here at this pivotal moment in humanity is pretty freaking powerful. I mean, it really is. And so in the context of your week, bring that into the choices that you make. Am I going to go with the choice that's comfortable and familiar and sedentary and rather limiting, perhaps? I know the extent to which I can grow or will just maintain if I go in that direction, or is there something more expansive, something that is, unknown and uncomfortable, but I know that in order for me to grow, in order for me to explore what is within that star, that energy of the wish, of hope, of renewal, the promise of healing, I must move something, right? So we're moving. There's movement that happens, and suddenly those chains just sort of fall away, right? They don't have the hold on us that they once did. And so that in of itself is a blessing. Now we're going to see how it's going to work with the next card, which is kind of going to be a whoop, hold on, not so fast, little star seeker. There's something here for us to see. There's new perspectives to glean. So we're going to take a look now at the Thursday energy as it is sort of an extension of this blessing that presents itself to us now. Let's take a look. All right, Thursday, how are we growing? And we get Major Arcana card 12, the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man, as you may be familiar, with our subject hanging by their bootstraps from these trees. And we see lots of woodland creatures and other symbols coming in here for us to dig into. Again, as you may be familiar, oftentimes when you flip that hanged one over, there is light, there is illumination entering the crown. There's something about perspective that comes from stuckness, from a pause, from a hang up, that brings in some awareness and illumination, and it's centered over the crown, right? So the hanged one, as it comes in here through the magical creatures, says surrender and reflection. In this depiction, the hanged man takes the form of an elf woodcutter caught in a moment of suspension, hanging upside down from a shoelace entangled on a log bridge in the depths of the forest. The elf is rendered powerless, his surroundings vibrant yet surreal. Surrounded by the lush foliage, adorned with moss and mushrooms, the elf's plight stands out starkly. As a little bird and curious squirrel pause to observe him, the elf confronts a profound sense of loss and vulnerability. However, this moment also offers an opportunity for introspection and inner growth. Embracing the stillness and silence, the elf can allow thoughts and emotions to surface organically, It is a time for reflection, reassessment, and the contemplation of new paths forward. By surrendering to the suspension, the elf may find clarity and wisdom emerging from the depths of the challenging experience. In the Hanged Man, we encounter a powerful invitation to let go of control, surrender to the present moment, and explore the transformative potential of introspection. Through this process, the elf may discover deeper insights and embark on a journey of self-discovery and renewal. So as I was reading that, I was totally feeling Merlin's Woodland Brew with this gorgeous tree and the nature spirits portal as we see so many of those nature creatures emerging in the Hanged One. So I'm feeling compelled now, along with the connection and mentorship Merlin energy we brought in during our card pull, we bring in this energy for nature spirits portal. What is coming in now for us? And, you know, of course, my thoughts are going deep and expansive and into all of the things, you know, bringing it into this week. I was feeling this sense of, yes, I feel stuck, but I'm hanging just by a shoelace. Okay. So what I was thinking was, if this devil was representing the old world, an old paradigm, an old belief system that we know is crumbling, right? That's coming down to be rebuilt. And we see that, you know, what represents the subjects of the devil's energy as these two goblins is meant to be humanity, meant to be you, me, all the people. And I was feeling like those links on the chain, right, can represent all of the generations of humanity that have come forward through that period of time, that particular age, that particular block of time. And you can take that block out as far as you want to take it. But like I said, we've been running the gamut here of going back over 2,000 years, going back to 2008, right? Going back to, you know, the origins of Scorpio season, going back to of this one, of going back to November 1st, you know, all of these points along the way. But what I was seeing was as if each of the links on this chain that go back infinitely represent all of those, because this card is about how are we growing, right? Bringing it back to our Hanged One. How are we growing? And so we find ourselves here, you know, kind of loosely dangling from that tree of life by a shoelace, right? Because 7 League Boots last week said, hey, these boots are made for walking. I'm about to move. I'm about to take steps. I'm about to head out. Sagittarius season is calling, and I'm going to expand beyond this current reality that I find myself in. So looking at all of those links on the chain as all who have come before, of where we have found ourselves in that energy that we now endeavor to free ourselves from, liberate ourselves from, in order to take steps into the new that's being created. But first, we have this moment of pause, this moment of reflection of what all has come to pass. And so if we surrender to that, rather than saying, why am I being held up here? You know, it's moving too slow. It's not happening the way that I thought it ought to happen, right? That's a big one for us. This is that sense of, and it can be very sneaky. It can be really covert or overtly controlling, right? Attempting to control situations in order to feel safe. That's an old playbook, right? The old playbook says, I got to feel safe. I got to feel like I'm secure and I have my base, my needs. I have all these things. And then therefore, then I can XYZ, right? This is where we're being brought into this new way of seeing that it's in the flow, it's in the surrender, it's in the allowance that actually all of the potentialities can unfurl, can become available to us then to manifest in whatever way we desire. But first, right? Hold up now by them 7 League Boots, that that lace is just holding on here. And there is this sense of, what more can I see from this vantage point? And that perhaps now, when that light comes in, I'm seeing the same old circumstances, the same old stories, the same old paradigm that I've always known a particular way. I'm now seeing it from a completely different vantage point. And it is an expansive one. And it's one that brings in the vibration of the number 3, because this is card 12. 1 and 2 brings together creates the energy of 3, which is all about co-creation, collaboration, coming together, co-facilitating. So this is, and community, right? So this is where, from here, from this pause, from this moment of surrender, of taking it all in from different vantage points with a curious mind. You know, that's the thing. When we want to fight it, when we want to contract, when we want to, stiffen up and be very rigid, why isn't this happening the way I wanted it to, the way I planned, the way I envisioned it, and we want to push against it, this is where the break comes in, versus staying malleable, staying flexible, being able to move and bend with the changes and the ebbs and the flows in order to glean those new perspectives, gathering of all of that wisdom, so that from our center point, grounded, centered, sovereign, we can then step out, chariot, roll forward, right? So I feel that, how we are growing is getting comfortable, more comfortable maybe. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to say we like this, but we're getting increasingly more comfortable with the uncomfortability of the unknown, of the shifting and the moving and the changing that can happen like that. That's the other thing. Yes, this is a slower energy. Things are temporarily held up, but actually moving right along. And bring in your totems that you see here, the squirrel, the bird, the fungi, all of the things that could speak to you around, and the roots. And it's so interesting that these roots are above, they're suspended in air. The roots of these trees are exposed. Again, awarenesses and ahas and new ways of seeing from where we came. Again, I feel like every spray is going to get sprayed here. I think the only one I didn't spray yet now is the rainbow unicorn. So we'll have to finish with that. Ancestral energy coming in here for sure. Our roots. And yes, all of those that have been in the chain gang, when we look at the energy of that chain around the foot of the goblins in the devil card, link by link, we created what we have now transcended, what we are now stepping out of. But again, bring in the energy of golden egg from a place of gratitude, from a place of from where we have come, right? And that includes the rotten eggs, right? The bad eggs. It includes all of it. It was all a part of the journey of humanity and everything that has brought us here to this place. So it's not said in a good riddance kind of a way. I don't mean for it that way. I mean for it in a way of all at once. How we are growing is an ability to have this expanded perspective, this expanded way of being able to see all of it with these roots exposed. With these roots exposed, we can go deeper to understand and have new understandings and build from that. Again, open-hearted, from a place of love, gratitude, forgiveness, and transmutation. These are all energies that we've been playing in, that we've been bringing in all last week. The full moon energies, Archangel Zadkiel, the violet flame that came forward on the 1111 portal. These are all energies we've been building and talking about. And now we're here in this moment, held by a shoestring, but we're growing, right? And where to from here? So with that, now we'll bring in our recurring major arcana archetype of death rebirth. So let's take a look now at Friday. All right, finally Friday, just rotated over one position. It must be noted a couple of things. One, this was our card last week for Thursday. So in the position of how we are growing, we now move to the wrap up of the week. This week, the death card, number 13, you may recall, as I just shared, that the hanged one is number 12. So once again, numbers are speaking, 12, 13, sort of in this this sequential order that we have coming in here. The death card returns from how we are growing to where are we going, right? From here, this energy. And so let me swap around all of these beautiful energies that we've been tapping into to bring in the one that we did not bring forward yet, the rainbow unicorn, for playtime and creativity. So I want to play in these energies because I know that this has been very significant energy that we're talking about here. And of course, seeing the death card, but I guess it's getting sort of, par for the course here. Like I said, we just had it last week, and now here we are again with this energy of death. But we know we're coming to understand from this new inner standing, these new perspectives, this wisdom that we're tapping into, that death is really about rebirth, that it is this beautiful cycle, like the metamorphosis, like the butterfly, right? The cycle of transformation and change. So we can play in that because there's so much potential and, dare we even say excitement about what is possible when we do strip away all the old, everything that's false, everything that's no longer nourishing, that's no longer sustaining and supporting us. We can release that and shed it like the snake skin. Right? And again, if you heard me going on when we were talking about that center point card, and I was referring to energies that I brought forward in the previous month, and I talked about the metaphor with Metatron where I was wearing a snakeskin necklace and remembered that I had this beautiful totem here on the altar space, a jar, a bottle of shed skins from a snake that we brought through in a prior video on my YouTube channel. And also, I shared it over in the October Sharecast. That's what I was referring to, the snake skin, shedding the skins of the soul. And what would it be if we were to bottle them all up and just continue carrying them with us, as opposed to freeing ourselves, liberating ourselves, shedding and releasing, so that we can be light and free to play, to create. And so that's what I'm tapping into here with this death card. It's really about the rebirth. It's really about the metamorphosis that we are in process. We're undergoing now, right? We're in it. So the death card is the harbinger of change. So in this card, we see a winged grim reaper, right? Standing stoically atop this dirt path, flanked by the golden wheat fields on one side and the clusters of white daisies on the other. And so it goes on to describe, as I shared last week, so not to recreate the wheel here, but it's describing how beautiful this card is, where, the wind is sweeping through the fields and it carries with it whispers of transformation. And yes, this golden wheat was once vibrant and abundant, but now it lays in swaths harvested by the scythe of death. So it's the shell, it's the castings, it's the outer. It's no longer nourishing. It's no longer viable. It's no longer sustainable, right? So we turn over the fields. And so this comes forward as an eternal reminder of the cycles of life and death, ushering in transformation and renewal, which again is an energy that I was tapping into with the Aquarian card of the star as well, of hope, promise, renewal, healing, all coming on the other side of the tower. But here in death's energy, we see that there's this pink and purple sky, the setting sun. Death's outline cuts a stark contrast, right? That's beautiful in the background. And then there's this dark being here, dark winged being. And so there's this energy of life and death and bringing in that transformation and renewal. So we have this energy of new beginnings and the release of old burdens. It's a card of profound change and transition, inviting us to surrender to the natural flow of life and embrace the transformative power of letting go, right? So that's what we have an opportunity to tap into, is actually getting very excited about playing in the possibility of creating new and what that might look like, and how we can create that using the castings and the remnants of what we're leaving behind, what has died or is dying, that we now have an opportunity to turn over so that it may be born again in a new form. And so, harbinger of change, that's powerful, that this is a totem of that. And it doesn't have to be this dark, shadowy figure that brings fear, but rather, can we get excited about playing in that possibility? That's what I'm feeling. Now, I don't normally do this, and I feel like I know we've gone like so deep with all this already, and we've gotten into so much, but I feel like pulling a clarifying one more card for us this week in the face of all this major energy, and just getting one last card here from the magical creatures to kind of close the loop on all of this energy that we're moving through here now this week, keeping in perspective as well our supportive energies of the golden egg and the center point from the Oracle of Awakening. So let's just live here on the Friday card, choose one last card to culminate these messages for the week. Because I'm just feeling bringing in that energy of the unicorn, the rainbow ray, playtime, creativity, clarity in what is possible, this air energy as well. I'm feeling, there it is. Thank you. I was like, yeah, it's going to be another major card. And it is. It is the counterpoint to the devil. The lovers, as I mentioned. Beautiful. I love this. What lies on the other side is bringing heaven to earth. This is exactly what I'm talking about, is that this is a gorgeous energy of choice and duality to say that it's going to be what we make it, right? So yeah, we can, fight the hanged one. We can attempt to control and wriggle free and end up tangling ourselves even more. We can choose to do that, but we're being presented with this alternative choice that brings in the frequency of the number 6, which is harmony, healing, balance in our relationships. And it starts with that relationship with ourself. So this is where we're brought back into that center point, grounded, sovereign, right? But this energy is, again, it's really so beautiful because it reminds us that we created everything that we have experienced up until this point, and we will create everything that is to come. And so once we own that, right, once we step into how freaking powerful we are, with that being the case, now we can really think about how we want to wield that power. And it starts with us. It starts here within your own caravan, right? Within your own place of residence, the place of residence of your heart, right? As to what you're going to create, what you wish for it to be. So let's just take a look at the lovers, and then I am sending you on your way. Thank you for being here. Okay, the lovers, union and vulnerability. In this enchanting portrayal, the lovers manifest as a magnificent griffin and a whimsical mock turtle engaged in a graceful dance at the water's edge, where the sand meets the gentle embrace of the sea. The griffin, with its majestic wings outstretched, leads the hesitant mock turtle through the steps of their captivating dance. Under the warm sun's radiant glow, the scene is bathed in golden light, casting a tranquil aura upon the lovers. In the distance, rugged mountainous rocks are standing firmly, framing the serene landscape of their beach sanctuary. Though seemingly mismatched, the griffin and the mock turtle move in perfect harmony, their connection tangible and their bond unbreakable. Together, they epitomize the union of opposites, blending strength with gentleness and courage with vulnerability. The dance of the lovers symbolizes the intertwining of hearts and souls, a celebration of love in its myriad forms. It serves as a poignant reminder that true love knows no boundaries and defies expectations, embracing the beauty of appreciation and the magic of harmony. So yeah, when we talk about universal love, humanity, and yeah, it does seem like it doesn't quite fit together. They look like opposites. How would we ever get these two to dance in balance and in step? But this is what we're challenged with. Yes, it is a challenge to be back to the drawing board and have this, opportunity though to rebuild. That I think that there's so many things in here that we could tap into when it comes to the playtime, the creativity, just being brought back into our own inner child, into our own creative muse within ourselves, that we can, see it as a dance, right? And know that, yes, there's going to be missteps. We're going to step on some toes. We're going to have some sour notes. But it really is so beautiful, this journey and this collective dance that we are doing as a humanity. And so bring with you into the new. You see the sun coming through from behind those clouds. There is a change in the wind, right? The wind blows. There is a change. There is a shift that is happening. And we don't know exactly. It's unknown. There's a choice to decide how it's going to go. And again, these two are the two that offset that choice between the devil that we know and what lies ahead that we have yet to explore. And you can see just in the color that this card brings in, like I wanted to kind of bring in something that would help us to put into perspective all of these messages. And I'll put the death back there so that they're all together. There's this light, this sun on the horizon that's coming in with this beautiful energy of the new that's being ushered in. And it just so happens to be this week. So who knew you were going to have all of this to digest this week? But I hope that you have found these messages to be of some value to you, to resonate. And of course, as the week unfolds, I always love to hear from you. If you would like your personal card pull, please feel free to let me know. You can respond here on Marco Polo. You can reach out to me in whatever way works for you. And I will pull you a personal card this week to go with all of these major messages. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all so much love, many blessings, and we shall talk soon.